Why is level 1 Demon Lord and one room hero so damn wholesome? I really wasn't expecting this show to go this direction. I just kind of came into it expecting it to be a goofy comedy about a loser hero and a demon lord just being upset about how much they're a loser. But what actually comes from this is some pretty wholesome moments, some actual impact as to what the characters are going through. A hero being rejected by society, which has been done so many times before, but not honestly to this impact, which is, again, very surprising. But this is my thoughts on the first 3 episodes of the series, so let's just jump right into it. Level 1 Demon Lord and One Room Hero opens up with the hero's party coming to defeat the Demon Lord himself. They've gathered their strength and this big epic battle happens. And as their party is at their worst, they stand up one more time and deal that lethal blow upon the Demon Lord. And the Demon Lord at that point warns them, I will return, I will be reborn, and when I come back, I'm gonna destroy everybody. Well, that happens. 10 years later, the Demon Lord is reborn, but not to their full strength. They actually woke up early, and so their power is diminished. And yes, they take the appearance of this little itty bitty cute thing. And as their assistant Xenia is trying to get them up to speed, get them new clothes because their body's a lot smaller, Maou keeps bringing up the hero. Bringing up Max. See, Maou has grown to be obsessed with Max. This powerful human that just took them down. Chiseled abs and everything. Yes, Maou is really, really obsessed with Max. So much that they really badly want to go see Max. But their assistant keeps saying, no, you don't want to do that. They're over here with the humans. Let's get you set up first. But no, Maou just kind of rushes off to go see Max. So as they're flying through, you kind of see that mankind has sort of developed. You have like skyscrapers and everything, and eventually comes across this rundown apartment where Max is currently living. And Mao's assistant Xenia did warn Maou, you're gonna regret if you go see Max. And sure enough, they are. Because Max has become a total shut-in, a slob, and a reject of society. And Max is kind of like, okay, who are you? Oh, you're Maou. All right, get out of here. I don't have any interest anymore. And this upsets Maou because Maou really wants to fight Max again. And again, like I said earlier, seems to have a thing for Max and his chiseled abs and everything. Well, that's when we discover what happened to Max over the last 10 years. When the Demon Lord was defeated, humans no longer needed a hero. And so they kind of discard him to the side. But as Maou is searching the internet, they end up finding out that Max has been caught up in tons of scandals. And it's sort of this kind of two-sided story. You don't really know who's truthful here, but the articles claim that he's been basically a womanizer and using women, getting in fights with people, attacking citizens. Whereas on Max's side, he's like, no, that I never met them before, and no, I was just defending myself here. But the bottom line is none of it has worked in Max's favor. There is a sense that, yeah, Max's personality sort of probably led to a lot of his problems. For one, he no longer hangs out with his party members. He's sort of kind of left them behind. And you'll get a sense over time that the other party members are doing their own things. Fred, the healer, is doing really well. He's in a high-ranking position. Leo, the warrior, is apparently caught up in a group that is being claimed as a terrorist group against the kingdom itself. But again, Max is just dead weight, staying in his apartment, full of trash, and Maou does not like this. They get in a quick fight, but Max quickly dispatches Maou. Again, Maou woke up too early, hadn't regained all their power. But Maou tells Max, I'm gonna come back. I'm gonna go back to my castle, I'm gonna get my power built up, and then I'm gonna come back and I'm gonna destroy the kingdom. But Max is like, I don't care. Destroy them. I don't care. They rejected me anyways. But Maou doesn't leave it at that. They decided, no, I'm gonna stay here and keep an eye on you and use this as an opportunity to get to know more about mankind and how they sort of developed. But at the same time, it also seems like an excuse to try to get Max to build himself back up. You know that Maou doesn't like the fact that Max is in this position. And thus begins the shenanigans of the Demon Lord living with the hero themselves, getting an idea of what's happening to the party members, get a couple flashbacks of their past, and additionally, Max just trying to avoid getting into more scandals. So my thoughts on level 1 Demon Lord and One Room Hero. Like I said before, I was not expecting to like this show for the reasons that I did. Again, coming into the show, I expected just a dumb comedy. What shenanigans can the Demon Lord and the hero have inside of a small apartment? And yes, there is some comedy bits here that I do like. It's kind of one of those shows where I kind of chuckle every now and then and I'll get a smile. There's a lot of absurdity around the fact that Max is a slob now, and yes, the things that he likes to do on his own, but he can't anymore because there's people around. There's a lot of kind of more adult humor in here that I do think is kind of played on too much, but overall I've had quite a few chuckles. A lot of it around the fact that I get a kick out of Maou being extremely obsessed with Max and his chiseled abs. Xenia's chasing after Max butt naked through the streets. It's got chuckles here and there, but for me it's very limited. What I end up enjoying about this show was that perspective of the rejected hero. Again, I've seen a lot of these shows. The hero does a job and then they're kicked out by society. I guess the best example of something like this is probably I'm Quitting Heroing. It's one of those shows that does have the goofy comedy, but underneath there's kind of a serious message. What does the hero think when society no longer needs them? And not only that, what do they think when society itself demonizes them? Still getting brief glimpses that people acknowledge that he was the hero at some point, but they just don't care for him anymore. The police officer that doesn't take him to jail after some incident happens. The little kids having fun with him, but then some of the kids realizing, yeah, mom and dad say to stay away from you because you're a deadbeat. It's kind of heartbreaking, but at the same time, not too heavy. Which I guess is a good point. It's wholesome, not heavy. I will say that there is a side of me that 3 episodes in at this point, I'm starting to get a little tired of Max. Yes, he's a lot more accepting of having Maou around, but at the same time, he's still just kind of stuck in this rut, and I don't know how long that's going to be entertaining. Because let's be honest, it still needs to be entertaining, not just continuously depressing. You have to see some sort of signs that things are kind of okay, or at least a sign that it can be okay. And about the best that we get of that is that acceptance of Maou. Which yes, Maou is great. And they couldn't have chose a better Seiyu. I kind of assumed that the moment I seen Maou, I'm like, I think I know who this Seiyu is going to be. And sure enough, they picked the same one. Jahi-sama for one. Somebody that just nails like that chibi full of themselves delusions of grandeur character. Xenia is okay so far. I think a lot of that humor around Xenia is just more adult and ecchi comedy. Which is funny because there's so much emphasis on Xenia's butt, but yet they decided to tone it down from the manga, because I've seen panels of the manga, and that swimsuit is much more risque there. Fred's story was okay. I think that was probably the weakest point of the show so far. That's where it's trying to get a lot more broad with the story, which I think might end up turning into something interesting with Leo, the other warrior. But he's sort of just the one that's kind of blackmailing him. This is the guy that's good, but at the same time, not 100% a good person. They've been known to scam people. So he's kind of like the gray area hero of the old party. I really do want the introduction of Leo. I think that'll probably be an interesting story as well. And I'm assuming the last party member, Yuusha, is dead? I don't know. My assumption at this point is that Yuusha is dead. There hasn't been any sort of shots of Yuusha. I'm assuming that's one of the initial reasons why Max fell the way he did. The writing has sort of shown me that nothing's going to be as it is in face value. There's always going to be an underlying story as to why the characters are in the position they are. The only thing that's been pretty transparent is Maou themselves. A lot of the fun has been around Maou trying to cover up their identity when they're out in the open, because obviously if they ran around with their horns hanging out, everybody would freak out. So they transform themselves into this, like, I don't know, late teens character, but the outfit is still like super skimping, so everybody's like, holy crap, why is this girl walking around like this? And even Max himself hasn't really caught on to it quite yet, so it's kind of fun in that regard. And then there's the closet ghost, which I don't know what they're doing with that. I sort of think it might be Yuusha, but I don't know. I would assume that Fred would have known that, but no, Fred's like, I like how Fred has fought demons, but is terrified of ghosts. But I'll be interested to see what's going on with the ghost, because it does seem like Max doesn't know about it. Like, everybody keeps acknowledging it, but Max never does. But there's this random ghost in the closet that's just constantly hanging out, and they've never explained what the hell this ghost is. But anyhow, like I said, it's been pretty fun. The comedy has been okay, but at the same time, I just really like the characters, the chemistry, and again, just this wholesome feeling that it has. It's just kind of been one of my favorite dejected heroes types of stories that I've seen yet. And I just cannot wait to see where it goes from here. Just a very massive, pleasant surprise for me that I just was not expecting. But anyhow, that's my thoughts so far on the series. Hope you guys enjoyed my video as always. If you did, make sure to hit that like button down below, comment, let me know what's thought of the series if you're gonna be checking it out. Additionally, if you're new to the channel, make sure that subscribe button to get my content. I do news, reviews, first impressions, top list if it's anime, it's pretty much here. Additionally, if you want to support the channel more, I have a Patreon link, tips link, super thanks, and membership button down below. Greatly appreciate it, but it does, and y'all take care.